Welcome back to the Coming Out Happy podcast. We're your hosts, Danny and Keely, your LGBTQ plus life coaches. As an LGBTQ plus adult, we know it can be complicated, but here's where we break it all down for you, and you can learn all about becoming your most authentic self so you can create really healthy relationships. Our goal from this podcast is to help you uncover all that makes you who you are and step into that future you. This podcast is your weekly check-in to focus on yourself and start taking actions towards the life and relationships you've always wanted.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and you love this episode, make sure you leave a 5-star review or rating. We can't wait to hear from you. Now let's get into it. What's up, everyone? It's Danny and Keely. We are so happy you're tuning in with us today and really just taking some time. It's so important that you do that for yourself. We're going to have an amazing topic for you today, but before we get into it, there's a few things that I want you to know. So if you're not following us on Instagram yet, at Coming Out Happy, make sure you head on over there. That's where you're going to catch us on Mondays. Every single Monday on our lives, we go live at 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST. So figure out which time zone you're in and make sure you put it on your calendar. We can't wait to see you there. It's all about self-growth, reflection, and really diving into who you are. We have a lot of fun on Mondays. And then every Friday, we're going to post this podcast for you. So make sure you subscribe, download, maybe set a little reminder again for yourself. That way you can really stay in touch and make sure that you are taking that time out of your week for this self-growth and discovery journey that you're currently on. And then if you're really loving the lives, the posts, everything that we do, you can't get enough of this podcast. I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to check out our program, Pride Amplified. It's all about stepping into your most authentic self and creating really healthy relationships. Danny and I are here to support and guide you all along the way. And sometimes you just need a little bit of accountability and support to get you there. And that's exactly what we do with you. So thank you so much. We are super excited to get into our episode today. And let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. It is Danny, and we are so excited that you are back. I'm really excited to get into today's podcast because this is something that I personally went through. It's all about understanding if your relationships are boring or if they're actually just really balanced and healthy. Let's get into this. I think it's going to be great. Keely, what do you want to say about this?
Yeah, I think so many people come to us and they ask us the question, hey, is this relationship just, should I move on because it doesn't feel like there's a spark? What do I do? And people come to us with that question. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that question. Obviously, we need more details than just that question to really know. But really, a lot of times we're so used to drama-filled relationships that it can be really, really easy to mistake it for something that's just boring and maybe not a good fit. Right?
Yeah, I was just thinking
What were you thinking about?
It's the up and down of the relationship that a lot of people are used to. A lot of people are used to fighting every day because they think it's passionate and are just going on and on every day. And they get so used to that pattern that they think that it's normal to be fighting with someone 24/7 until you meet someone who's really just about giving you some space and giving you healthy relationship vibes, and it's confusing. I mean, I know I definitely felt like this with Keely in the beginning. I was very confused with our relationship, but it was actually just very healthy.
Yeah, no, I remember that because Danny was used to chasing people that maybe didn't want her back as much as she wanted them. So, of course, that was a little bit of excitement, right, Dan? When they would want you or text you or make you a priority every so often, but someone that was, all about you and wanted to spend time and make, your relationship, create a healthy relationship with you, it seems very odd.
Yeah, and even when we feel like we're ready, it's like there's someone right in front of us that can be actually committed, that makes us feel safe and is an actual reliable person, and for some reason we turn away.
Why do we do that?
Well, because it's very different and it can be really, really uncomfortable.
It can, especially if we're afraid of it actually working out. That could be a scary thing too.
That is the most uncomfortable thing in the world if you're so used to having relationships that don't work, is actually being faced with the reality of, oh, this actually could be a really good thing for me.
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you remember the feelings that you actually had when you first started dating me? Like, what was that like for you specifically?
I mean, I loved you from the beginning. I knew
you
that
loved me at day one?
I loved you at day one. I think that was what it was. No, I think it was it was really peaceful, but also we were both still figuring out, we were both still figuring out who we were and who we wanted to be in our own separate lives. But I remember this feeling of like peace, and I think it was very much confused with, oh, I don't know if this is actually going to work, because I don't really remember what this feels like to not have the extreme passion that I had in 99% of my other relationships.
And the passion, were you mistaking it for love, and it was really just a lot of drama?
Well, it was only drama. That wasn't real love. It was just drama, toxic behaviors, going back and forth. I mean, I'm going to go into it with you a little bit, but all of it was drama filled and drama fueled. Every single thing, every single day I woke up in these different relationships, it was a lot. But I'm going to kind of dive into it right now with you, because I feel like there are so many of you that can be listening to this and are like, whoa, I met someone and I'm not really sure if they're the right ones for me, if I want to continue, or if I just need to understand that this is an actual healthy relationship. So a few signs just for you to kind of be aware of, to figure out if this is a balanced relationship for you, or if you may actually just be bored. Some patterns in your past could be that your relationship actually feels predictable for once. I know that it's not about maybe chasing each other that you may be used to, or playing games. I mean, how many of us have been used to playing games with everyone when we're swiping on Tinder? It's like waiting 5 minutes, waiting 3 hours, waiting, all these different games. We're so used to it. And if we actually found someone that's predictable and reliable, it's very confusing. I mean, there isn't really this uncertainty of whether or not you want to be together, and I think that's a really difficult place to kind of come from.
And I think as you were saying that, this popped into my head. You could even take it a step deeper. And when you see that someone's so about you, it could throw you off because you may not believe how amazing you are yourself. I just thought of that as well. Mm-hmm. And someone that's crazy about you, and maybe you're struggling with your worth and feeling like, oh my gosh, like this person actually likes me. What am I doing the right thing? Or you may start to question yourself a lot more because maybe you've never had that. And that could be so different too, right?
Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings me into the second one too. Thank you for sharing that, because it's all so much deeper, right? It's not just about the relationships that we have, but it's how we feel about ourselves. Yeah. So the second sign I have for you is you may have always been the type to fix people. I definitely have. And this is something that may be kind of confusing, but maybe you can relate.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like if you save someone because maybe they're in a tough spot and you want to take care of them, maybe they'll love you back. So maybe you're going after people you feel like need rescuing, and you want to feel like a good person, or maybe that they'll like you more just because you're there to kind of take care of them. And maybe being with someone who actually kind of has it together scares you away because you're so used to playing the role of the caretaker.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that one too, I want to flip it for you. When you're taking care of someone else, you feel worthy. Mm-hmm. You feel valid. You feel like, wow, I'm doing something. This is what I'm supposed to do. That was me. As someone that was codependent in almost all my relationships, I felt really valid and worthy when I was able to help somebody in a way that they couldn't help themselves. And that's common.
Yeah, but that's not love. That's not what a relationship is. It's just about people needing each other to heal, and that's not what relationships are about.
But yeah, healthy relationships, you don't need each other. You want to be together, you want to grow together, but you know that you're fine without one another.
And you're not there to fix or complete each other. We say this all the time.
I wish I knew this. I wish that I could speak this to myself.
I wish we had this podcast when we were, kind of going through this even just a few years ago, understanding all of these things because of where we came from. I definitely came from a place of also fixing people. I felt like really I would feel valid too. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people don't really know why someone would want to be with them unless they actually heal them.
Yeah. Whoa. That was good.
So it's all about how we feel about ourselves. I mean, I want to know from you if you're like, oh, Danny and Keely, you really just hit me there. Like that
Can
really
you stop?
That really made sense. Any of the fixers in the relationships or the caretakers, please send us a DM. I want to chat with you because we've definitely been there. But anything else that you want to say on that one? Because I have another one that I think is good.
I mean, I think everything that we said was really powerful, and you may not want to hear it. I think it's
These are
that
hard
powerful.
things to hear. They really are.
We try to keep the podcast lighthearted, but it seems that we
No, we
always take it
don't.
deeper. Yeah, it's true. We could sit here, that's the truth. Danny and I could sit here all day. We could talk about all the happy rainbow, best moments of life, and of course we have that in here, but I don't want to just sit here and make you feel good for 30 minutes. I want you to actually learn something and move forward and do what you want to do and live your life
and be aware of like what's going on in your life so you can fix it if this is something that you want to do.
Yeah, we're not here to just make you feel good all day long. We're here to really have some change in your life so that you can feel better in the long run.
Absolutely.
So
awesome.
I know sometimes it's hard to hear, but we just love you and care about you, and we want to share this message. So.
Yeah. So the last one that I have for maybe this is your situation, maybe you've been through this, and now being in healthy relationships can feel kind of uncomfortable or awkward to you, is maybe you are so used to having tunnel vision with people that are unattainable. So maybe you're spending all of your day, and I've definitely been through this. I've also talked to a lot of people who have been through this as well. Maybe you're so used to daydreaming about people who may not want you, or people or situations that you know will never work out, that when you actually meet someone who kind of fits everything that you've ever wanted and needed, it doesn't really make sense to you because the reality hits that this is going to work. And I know we were kind of talking a little bit about that, but reality is so different than the story that you make up inside your head. We can all dream of having those healthy types of relationships, but it's game time when it's actually in front of you. And I think it feels weird sometimes when you're so used to dreaming about it inside your head that you may not really understand it when it actually comes to life. You know what I mean?
No, that's really powerful, and I love that. And it's just what you're used to. It's the norm. As humans, we want to stay as comfortable as possible always. That's our nature. And anything that feels outside of that is not fun. It's hard stuff to do, but that's where real change and growth starts to happen. So I love that you shared all of that, Danny. I think it's so powerful. This was a great podcast episode. I think you're going to get a lot out of it, and I can't wait to hear from the people that resonate, because I know I'm not the only one, and neither is Danny. And of course, we want to be there to support you. So definitely send us a message on Instagram at Coming Out Happy. Let us know you listened to this episode. If you loved this episode, make sure to leave us a 5-star review or rating on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out, and we can't wait to see you on the next episode.